Hello students, today we are going to discuss an element from group 16, that is oxygen. All of us are aware with the importance of oxygen. It's an essential element for everyone. We know it occupies 21% of atmospheric volume. Now let us see how it is prepared. On the large scale, oxygen is prepared by electrolysis of water, where electric current is passed through water, hydrogen gas is released at cathode and oxygen gas is released at anode. By industrial method, dioxygen is obtained from air, first of all by removing carbon dioxide and water vapors, and then remaining air is liquefied. So we say liquidation of air. The fractionally distilled air then gives dinitrogen and dioxygen. The next method is by decomposition of potassium chlorate. Thermal decomposition of potassium chlorate in presence of catalysts such as manganese dioxide will give us dioxygen. Now, our dioxygen can also be obtained by thermal reduction of various metal oxides. We have already seen in metallurgy that metal oxides can be reduced, and there we get oxygen as a byproduct. Like silver oxide or mercury oxide, they can be reduced to corresponding metals and oxygen gas will be obtained. Now these methods are called as auto reduction. That is, normal heating will give us oxygen gas. Since silver and mercury, these are less reactive metal, therefore auto reduction is the simplest way to obtain oxygen from their metal oxide. But if we talk about the elements like lead, 2Pb3O4 on heating gives lead oxide and oxygen. Lead dioxide will also give lead oxide and oxygen on heating. We have to remember the change in oxidation state. In lead dioxide, lead is in +4 oxidation state, and in lead oxide, lead is in +2 oxidation state. Here the reduction is not complete. Oxygen is still with lead. So this method or this example cannot be considered as an example of auto reduction. Let us discuss the properties of dioxygen. It is a colorless, odorless gas. It is soluble in water and its solubility is 3.08 centimeter cube in 100 centimeter of cube of water. Now this much solubility of oxygen in water makes it very essential component for the survival of aquatic life. There are 3 isotopes of oxygen: oxygen 16, oxygen 17 and oxygen 18. And we know oxygen 16 is the most stable isotope. In class 11th, we have studied that oxygen is paramagnetic in nature, although it has less number of unpaired electrons. Okay, coming to reactions. Oxygen can react with metals, non-metals, giving corresponding oxides. And we know that the metal oxides, they are always basic in nature. Non-metal oxides, they are always acidic in nature. Okay, like for example, calcium and oxygen gives calcium oxide. Aluminium reacts with oxygen to give aluminium oxide. Now aluminium oxide is an example of amphoteric oxide. Aluminium oxide, zinc oxide, these are the examples of amphoteric oxides. On the other hand, when oxygen reacts with non-metals like phosphorus and carbon, it gives corresponding oxide, phosphorus oxide and carbon dioxide. These both oxides are acidic in nature. Now, we have already studied the methods like roasting and calcination. The sulfide ores, they are heated in presence of oxygen. The process is known as roasting. Methane is treated with oxygen to give carbon dioxide and water. This is a combustion process. So oxygen reacts with nearly all metals and non-metals except some metals like gold and platinum. They do not react with oxygen, as well as noble gases do not react with oxygen. All these reactions are strongly exothermic and therefore the reactions are sustained. Some compounds are catalytically oxidized, that is, oxidation of certain elements requires the use of catalyst. For example, sulfur dioxide gets converted to SO3 and HCl getting converted to chlorine. Now here we can say that lower oxidation state or lower oxide is converted to higher oxide. If you remember the oxidation state, the reactions of p block element becomes quite easy. For example, in SO2 sulfur is in +4 oxidation state and in SO3 sulfur is in +6 oxidation state. In second reaction, chlorine is -1 oxidation state which get oxidized to 0 oxidation state. So we have seen that all the elements react with oxygen to give oxide. How can we define oxide? Binary compound of oxygen with other element, that is what we call as oxide. Now we have four types of oxide: acidic, basic, neutral and amphoteric. So the first type is acidic oxide. An oxide that combines with water to give an acid is termed as acidic oxide, like sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, N2O5, Cl2O7. All these are called as acidic oxide because on mixing with water they will give acid. Like SO2, when it is mixed with water it will give H2SO3. Now coming to basic oxide. The oxide which gives a base with water, they are known as basic oxide. Generally all metal oxides are basic oxide. For example, sodium oxide, calcium oxide, barium oxide, etc. There are certain oxides which are neither acidic or nor basic. They are called as neutral oxides. For example, carbon monoxide, NO, N2O, etc. And the amphoteric, just now we have seen, amphoteric are the ones which show both acidic as well as basic nature. For example, aluminum oxide, zinc oxide, etc. All these oxides, they are termed as simple oxides. We have mixed oxides also. Mixed oxides, these are mixtures of various oxides. For example, Pb3O4 is a mixture of PbO and PbO2. Sorry, it is Pb2O3. Fe3O4. It is a mixture of FeO and Fe2O3. So these are called as mixed oxides. Another compound which we have to study from group 16 is ozone. Ozone molecular formula is O3. It is also known as triatomic oxygen. At a height of about 20 kilometers, it is formed in atmospheric oxygen in the presence of sunlight. Now we know the importance of ozone layer, that it protects the Earth's surface from excessive concentration of ultraviolet radiations. Let us discuss the preparation method of ozone. Sorry, this is not properties, it is preparation. When silent electric discharge is passed through a slow dry stream of oxygen, we get ozone. This ozone is called as ozonized oxygen. Actually, when a slow dry stream of oxygen is passed through silent electric discharge, conversion of oxygen to ozone, it occurs only 10% and therefore it is called as ozonized oxygen. Why silent electrical discharge is required? Since the formation of ozone is an endothermic process, that is very clear from this del H value, plus 148 kilojoule mole inverse. Since it is an endothermic process, therefore it is necessary to use silent electrical discharge so as to prevent its decomposition. Now what are the properties? In the gaseous form, it has a pale blue color. In the liquid form, ozone has a dark blue color, and if ozone exists in solid form, it has violet black color. Ozone has very characteristic smell. In small concentration, it is harmless. Unlike dioxygen, it is paramagnetic in nature. The structure of ozone is a bent structure. It is also a resonating structure, oxygen requiring plus charge and minus charge. So we can write the resonating structure as where the electrons are distributed equally. And here the ozone shows equal bond length of oxygen-oxygen bond. It is near about 128 picometer. And the bond angle in ozone is 117 degree. This is an important question, that why ozone has equal bond length of oxygen-oxygen bond, or why it shows a bend shape. Why it shows a bend shape? To avoid lone pair repulsion. Now we are coming to important topic, that ozone is thermodynamically unstable compound as compared to oxygen. Ozone is thermodynamically unstable. The decomposition of ozone to oxygen is an spontaneous process. Del G is highly negative, del S is positive, and therefore we say ozone is thermodynamically unstable as compared to oxygen. So large Gibbs energy and high changes in entropy will result in thermodynamic instability of ozone. Since ozone releases oxygen, therefore it is a strong oxidizing agent. It can oxidize various compounds. For example, it can oxidize lead sulfide to lead sulfate and iodide ion to iodine. But we have to remember the oxidation number changes. In lead sulfide, sulfur is in -2 oxidation state, and in lead sulfate, sulfur is in +6 oxidation state. So ozone has oxidized sulfur. Now in the second equation, iodide ion is in -1 oxidation state. When it get oxidized, iodine oxidation number is increased. So ozone acts as a very strong oxidizing agent. Now the question is that how we can estimate quantitatively ozone. This is your 2 or 3 mark question. The second reaction is used for the quantitative estimation. When ozone reacts with excess of potassium iodide solution buffered with a borate buffer pH 9.2. So borate buffer is used with pH 9.2. Iodine is liberated, and this liberated iodine is then titrated against standard solution of sodium thiosulfate using starch as an indicator. Now this estimation method is used for quantitative estimation of ozone gas. Experiments have shown that nitrogen oxide, particularly nitric oxide, combines very rapidly with ozone, and thus there is a possibility that nitrogen oxides emitted from the exhaust of supersonic jet aeroplanes causes the depletion of ozone layer. Another substances which can cause the depletion in ozone layer, they are aerosol sprays and freons, which are used as a refrigerant. These cause the depletion of ozone layer, and therefore supersonic jet airplanes, they are not used. Or the world is getting more and more conscious about the use of supersonic jet planes as it causes the depletion of ozone layer. That's all for the day. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.